Hey everyone, Bob here, Overland Citrus. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to start the shock and suspension install on the Sprinter van with some help from my longtime friend Ron. He's going to be doing most of the mechanic work. He's been a mechanic his whole life. So we're putting Blistine shocks in the back, and I'll swing the camera around. So we're putting Blistine shocks in the rear, and we'll show you more about that. And then these are the double shear brackets, which we're going to install also, and we're going to walk you through all of that. So stand by. As you can see right now, my friend Ron's working on getting the tire off. That's step one. Okay, so we took the top bolt off on the shocks, and now we're going for this bottom bolt. Okay, so we're drilling a couple pilot holes for the front of the bracket, and then we're going to drill them out for 3/8. So we got it all up in place, just loose, and now Ronnie's putting these. We put the spacer plate in behind.
I can't see it from here though.
Yeah, you might have to.
It's got like a taper thing?
No, you might have to get out and
Yeah.
push them through. So we're reevaluating. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that, but see that silver plate? That's a spacer plate behind that. It takes up the space. If Ron, if you could point that out, right there, it takes the space up. So we're putting the bolts in. It's a little tight to work. Get the plate lined up. Now the factory shocks are Monroe, which is kind of making me giggle a little bit because it's a European, German-made vehicle with Monroe shocks. So that's why we're putting the Blistines in there. Give you a good look at that setup under there. Well, Ron's getting a lineup tool. Like I said, I went with the Blistines because they're made in Germany, and I thought it would be a lot better. But they're definitely bigger than the stock factory shocks. Okay, I'm over Ronnie's shoulder. So we got the shock in, we got all the bolts in, and now we're just going to tighten up the bracket bolts, and then we're going to put the bottom of the shock in. Or maybe we'll put the bottom of the shock in now. Yeah, why not, right? Loose. Okay, so the bottom of the shock's in, top of the shock, and Ron's going to point to a strap. Just a strap. You do not want to cut that strap off before you install it, because the shock will expand. So now we're going to tighten everything up, cut the belt, put the tire back on, and we're going to rock and roll to the other side. Okay, so now we're going to tighten the hell out of everything. I know that there's going to be haters out there that say you're not talking it, but I don't talk too much stuff. I talk stuff when I do like engine work, something like that. But as far as suspension and stuff like that, I've never talked it, and I've built a lot of big trucks. I just tighten the hell out of it, put an air gun on there, and give it hell. And I've never had a problem in my life with any of it. But I give you a good shot. That's what it looks like. Now you've got a double edge here where it bolts. There's no way you're ever going to snap that top shock bracket. And I'm going to leave the links to everything in the video as always, in case you want to purchase and install some of this stuff. Okay, here we go, cutting the strap. There we go. So she's all buttoned up. It's got an extra safety lock on that bolt. I mean, this is one rugged, that's made with 1/4-inch steel. I mean, there's no way you're going to shear that shock bolt off now. That is really on there. And now we're going to put the tire on. And to put the tire on, I had bought a set of these. They're like tire locators. They come 2 in a pack. And I figured if I was ever out on the road alone, I could use that. And what it does, it helps to line the tires. And especially the new tires are going to be 35-inch tires. So they're going to be a lot bigger and a lot heavier for one person alone to line it up and get the bolts in. So we're going to line this up now, and then we're going to whack the other side out. So Ron's putting the finishing touches on the lugs, getting them in. I wish we had the new wheels in and we'd be looking really good, but they're about 2.5 weeks out. I talked to Agile Off-Road, and they're about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks out. Okay, so we took the front tire off, and yes, we're on the front, but we didn't want to bore you with taking the tire off. And now we're going to get the 2 strut bolts, and as you can see, we spray painted it blue. because when I take the strut off, it's going to change the camber setting. So we're still going to get an alignment, but we did that to keep us in the same boat. So what we got is a jack on the chassis, a jack stand, and then we got a secondary jack that we're going to put underneath the A-frame setup. So we're going to blast those bolts off right now, some air power. And these bolts are on there, let me tell you. We tried with an air gun, and it just looks at you. So my trusted friend Ron, he's working hard, but he broke them loose. So you got to get those two loose. It's pretty easy. Strut job is pretty easy. If you're a little bit mechanical and you got a few jacks, we figure we're going to get this done in an hour. One side.
Gotta get that clip off the.
So we got a secondary jack underneath the A-frame now, and that's how we control the up and down movement to get the bolts out. So we're going to knock out those bolts now. Take off the clip for the sensor, wheel sensor, speed sensor. It's on the back. Okay, so we took the floor mat off on this passenger side. This was your electrical. And then this is your strut mount. It's got 4 bolts on it. We're going to zap those 4 bolts off, and the strut's going to be out on the ground. So this is the old strut. And my friend Ron, he pushed it down and compressed it, and it still has not come up. So you want to talk about dead. I mean, look at that. Those things are junk. Look at that. It's crazy. Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to put an Allen wrench in here, and then this is like a 24 millimeter bolt, and you've got to hold the shaft so it don't spin. And the biggest wrench we have is a 22, so we devised this old school wrench, and we hold it with this breaker bar and this 3/8, and we break it loose. So I'm going to put the phone down so I can help Ronnie hold it. Okay, so here's the new Blistine. I mean, look at the size of that piston. That's got to be an inch round. And we also got a new boot from Mercedes that we're going to drop on there. And then it's as simple as taking that top nut off. And it's hot here today in Florida. It's going to be 90, but it's still early. It's 10:23. Then you just slip that on. Like that. Then you put the washer on the top. And you put the nut back on. And you just do the opposite that you did to take it off. You tighten it up. So we're going to do that together. Okay, so we got the new one in. We put this 1/4 inch just to hold it. And then up top here, Ron, my friend, is inside, and I'm going to line these up, and he's going to drop the bolts in, and then we're going to start tightening them up. So now we're all tight. Just a matter of putting the 2 bolts in the bottom. The top is all snugged up, and you just got to kind of move it around and play with the second jack to get it in, but it's not that hard. So everyone, we got that project done. That was a nice upgrade. Now we're waiting for the 5 tires and wheels that are coming from Agile Off-Road. So I hope this video helped you. It's something you can do yourself if you're a little mechanical. It took us basically 2 hours for the back and about an hour and 45 minutes to do the 2 front struts. And it already seemed to make a big difference in the ride when we had just the back done. So we did it in the course of 2 mornings because it's very hot here in Florida. But I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing. If you don't subscribe, please think about doing that. We appreciate it. If you hit the bell, it'll let you know when we get new videos out. And we'll send you the video with the new tires going on as soon as we get them in from Agile. I will leave a link for all the parts we used to put the suspension, shocks, and everything in. Until then, as I always say, camp safe, drive safe, and peace out.